Children, as I told you all earlier that the most widely accepted classification is 5 kingdom classification. So, let us know about 5 kingdom classification in detail, and let us know about Robert Harding Whittaker. Children, he is the scientist who discovered 5 kingdom classification, and he gave out 5 kingdoms. Let us know what are the 5 kingdoms. The first one is Monera. Children, you can repeat with me. The first kingdom is Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia, Fungi. Children, let us know the classification based on the following criterion. That is, organism, the living organism is classified on the first criterion, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, that means the nucleus is absent, and in eukaryotes a well-developed nucleus is present. As you can see over here, prokaryotes, the organisms present are Monera. Yes children, Monera come under prokaryotes, that means there is no nucleus. Eukaryotes, a well-developed nucleus is present in eukaryotes. So children, let us know, in eukaryotes we have 2 other cells, that is the second criterion, unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So as you all know children, because we studied in our lower classes also, unicellular organism means single-celled organisms. Multicellular organism means many-celled organisms. So unicellular organisms, Protista, yes, Protista comes under unicellular organisms, whereas in multicellular organisms, animals are considered. Now, in unicellular organisms also, the another criterion to be considered is the cell wall. Children, as we all discussed in our first chapter, that is the difference between plant and animal cells. If the plant cell is present, in that cell wall is present, whereas in animals the cell wall is absent. The major differentiating character is cell wall. So, if the organism is with cell wall, that means it is a plant. If the organism is without a cell wall, it is animal. Next criterion for classification is food material. If the organism is preparing the food material, then we are calling it as autotrophs. If the organism is not preparing the food material, we are calling it as heterotroph. So, even in plants also, 2 types of organisms are present, that is organism preparing the food material, that is plant, and the organism not preparing the food material, that is fungi. Next, in multicellular organisms, that is without the cell wall, animals are considered. So, let us go for the next topic, that is 5 kingdom classification in detail. Children, you can see over here prokaryotic. Monerans are prokaryotic. That means nucleus is absent, whereas the organisms like Protista, plants, fungi, animals, these all organisms have a well-developed nucleus. So, these are eukaryotic. So, the first and the major point to be noted is prokaryotic organism, and all the other organisms are eukaryotic. Do you know leuca? So, children, let us know how a cell has arisen. We all talk about cells. That cell is a living organism. From where did this cell arise? The cell has arisen from leuca. The full form of leuca is last universal common ancestor. So, what is this leuca? All the cells are similar in nature and generally thought that all cells came from common ancestors, that is leuca. Yes children, as I told you now, the cells have arisen from leuca, that is last universal common ancestor, and this leuca has eventually evolved into 3 domains, that is archaea, bacteria, eukarya. And who discovered this leuca? That is Woos, scientist named Woos. Let us know about the 3 domains, that is the archaea, the bacteria and the eukarya. In archaea, the organisms are called as extremophiles. That means the organisms live in extreme conditions. Methanogens, that means the organisms which live in the gut of the animals. Halophiles, halo means children, remember salt condition. Halo means salt condition. So, the organisms which are living in salt conditions are called as halophiles. And thermoacidophiles means, thermo means heat, acidophile means acid condition. So, the organisms which are living in high temperatures and acid environment, such organisms are called as thermoacidophiles. Next, bacteria. We all know cyanobacteria because the other name for cyanobacteria is blue-green algae. So, eubacteria, cyanobacteria, which are also beneficial to us, come under bacteria. Eukarya, that is the organisms, eukaryotes are considered in this domain. They are Protista, fungi, plants and animals. What is hierarchy of classification? Children, these days we are all going for online shopping, and when you want to go for online shopping, you order your product. When you order, will the product come directly to you? No, you have to mention your address over there. Just like you can see in this flowchart, you mention the country, that is the name of your country, the state where you live, and the district, because our state consists of various districts. And in the district, you mention the city. In the city, you mention locality. And in locality, you mention house number, because in a locality there are many houses. So, we mention the house number. Even in the house, a particular person who has ordered the product, that is the name of the person. So, like this, if we follow this whole criterion, then we are going to get our product to the person who has ordered. Now, the same procedure is followed for hierarchy of classification. That is, various organisms present in and around us come under the kingdom, and this kingdom is further classified into phylum. Phylum is further classified to class. Class is further divided into orders. Order is further classified into families. Families are classified into genus. Genus into species. Let us know about this furthermore. This is the picture which is present in our textbook, children. So, please have a look at this picture and understand. We have the first one is life, and after life we have the domain, and after domain we have kingdom. Kingdom is nothing but, as we discussed earlier, Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi, Animalia, all these come under kingdom. So, kingdom is considered as the largest taxon. Each level in this hierarchy is called as taxon. So, kingdom is the largest taxon. Various number of phylum are under the kingdom. Like that, various classes come under phylum, various orders come under a class, and various families come under order, various genus come under a family, and species come under considered under genus. Another major point to be noted over here, children, is in kingdom, a lot of dissimilarities are present among the organisms. Very few similarities are present. But when you come to species, a lot of similarities are present. A very few dissimilarities are present. That means in kingdom, major dissimilarities are present, whereas in species, many similarities are present. Highest taxon is called as kingdom. Lowest taxon is called as species. Children, another point to be noted over here is, in species, the organism has the capacity to interbreed, has the capacity to reproduce individually. So, please remember, species is the lowest taxon, and the organisms in species have the capacity to interbreed, to reproduce individually. Let us know the classification of humans. That is, domain, Eukarya, kingdom, Animalia, phylum, Chordata, class, Mammalia, order, Primate, family, Hominidae, genus, Homo, species, Sapien. So, these are all human beings. The classification of human beings is done in this manner. Let us study in detail the 5 kingdom classification. And as we all know that 5 kingdom classification was discovered by Whittaker. So, Monera, Protista, which is also called as Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Monera, children, you can see the organisms present here. So, these are Monerans. And you can see a few questions over here also, children. These are the questions which are present in your textbook. So, please make a note of these answers in your textbook, children. Let us answer these questions. First kingdom is Monera. That means this is the primitive organism, first formed organisms. So, how many cells are found in these organisms? So, children, in Monera, single-celled organisms are present. That means unicellular organisms are present. Do you find any nucleus in the middle of the cell? Children, as we told, Monera means prokaryote. That means nucleus is absent. Are there any other cell organelles found inside the cell? No, no cell organelles are found. Are there any locomotor organs in them? Children, first you should know what is locomotor organelles. Locomotory means movement. So, children, these are having locomotor organelles. Let us see how. You can see the examples, that is nostoc and bacteria. In bacteria, you can see this blue hair-like structures which are called as cilia. The long red tail-like structure is called as flagella. So, cilia and flagella are called as locomotory organelles. That means the organelles which help in the movement of the organism. The major organisms which come under this group are archaebacteria, eubacteria and cyanobacteria. Next, Protista, that is Protista. In this, the diagram which you are seeing is of the amoeba. And let us answer the questions. These questions are there in your textbook, children. So, please write the answers. How many cells are found in the organism? In this organisms, unicellular organisms are present. Sometimes multicellular organisms are also present. Do you find any nucleus in the middle of the cell? Yes, children. Protista is developed than Monera. That means nucleus is present. Are there any other cell organelles found inside the cell? Yes, cell organelles are present. Are there any locomotor organelles? Please, children, write down the answer. Yes, locomotory organelles are also present. The examples of Protista are amoeba, euglena and paramecium. So, the mostly unicellular, few are multicellular. Reproduce by splitting into two organisms and they live in single way or in a colony. Fungi. Now, how many cells are present in fungi? Fungi is multicellular organisms. You can see over here the mushrooms which we see around us. What is the color? These are having various colors. Can they prepare their own food as green plants? So, children, as I told you, they are having colors. That doesn't mean that they prepare their own food, because to prepare their own food, we need chlorophyll, and fungi, chlorophyll is absent. So, the answer for this is no, fungi cannot prepare their food. And do you find root-like structures? Yes. Write down as yes. Let us discuss why root-like structures are present. That is, many multicellular and few unicellular organisms are present in fungi. They are mainly eukaryotes, and fungi gets nutrients and energy by absorbing, digesting the surface they live. So, children, how are these organisms present? How are they absorbing the materials? Through the root-like structures. And how do they reproduce? They reproduce by spores. Examples of fungi are yeast. These are present on the substances where sugar is present, like the fruits, like the leaves. This is the microscopic view of the yeast. The other example is mushroom. Bread molds. When you keep the bread for few days, you find the black color layer on the bread. That is nothing but bread molds. Lichens. Lichens are nothing but symbiotic association of fungi and algae. Plantae. Plants are diverse in nature. The basis of classifying them is the way they acquire their food and they reproduce. So, let us know how many types are there in Plantae. So, they are classified in 3 levels. That is, the first level is herbs, shrubs and trees. So, children, when you see this image, these are called as herbs. That means these are green plants, but they are not big. They are very small and they are creeping on the surface of the soil. Plant, that is shrubs. Shrubs are woody. They are bushy, but they do not grow tall. They grow only to a certain level from the ground. Trees, as you can see the image, children, trees are very big. They are having a huge trunk. Well developed trunk is present. The second level of classification is, that is the special tissues, vascular tissues. So, what are vascular tissues? Vascular bundles, xylem and phloem. As you all know, xylem is useful for the conduction of the water, whereas phloem is useful for the conduction of food material. If the xylem and phloem are present in concentric ring, they are called as dicots, and if they are present in the irregularly manner, they are monocots. Next one is presence of the fruits, that is the seed is enclosed inside the fruit. You can see over here this is gymnosperm and over here angiosperm. For the gymnosperms, ovary wall is absent, whereas in angiosperms, ovary wall is present. Observe a moss plant. Children, when you are seeing this image, what is that you can understand? You feel that this is a flower, but children, this is not a flower. Where do you find them? During rainy season, you find green color velvety patches near the bricks, near the walls, wells. So, when you scrap that and see under a microscope, you find these structures. These are not flowers, but these are spores, that is sporangium. You know, spores are similar to seeds, but the difference between spore and seeds is the food material. In spores, the food material is very less, whereas in seeds, there is lot of food material. So, the structure which you are seeing here is sporangium. Inside the sporangium, you have spores. This is the sporangium of fern. The brown color dots which you are able to see are the sporangiums in which we have spores. This is the plant kingdom flowchart, that is cryptogams which are non-flowering plants, phanerogams are flowering plants. In cryptogams, we have various structures, that is thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta, and in thallophyta again we have three different organisms. In phanerogams, gymnosperms and angiosperms are present, that is monocots and dicots. Children, we have the image which you are seeing here is dicots and monocot plants. So, let us know about the differences between dicot and monocot plants. That is, the monocots have single cotyledon, dicots have two cotyledons. Monocots have fibrous root system, whereas dicots have taproot system. Monocots have parallel venation, dicots have reticulate venation. Examples are corn and wheat, beans and apples in dicot. So, you can see the image over here. The leaves which you can see here, children, are showing parallel venation. The leaves in the dicots are showing reticulate venation. The root system is fibrous root system over here, and over here you can see taproot system. Let us know what we have learned till now. Children, we discussed about the need of classification, classification and evolution, history of classification, hierarchy of classification, five kingdom classification in detail, moss plant kingdom in detail. Improve your learning. Children, take these questions as the work, complete the work and show to your teachers. What is the basis for early classification? What are the advantages of classifying organisms? Write about Carolus Linnaeus. Explain about Monera, Protista, Fungi. How do monocots differ from dicots? For better understanding of the concepts, solve the worksheets. Please visit the official website of SIET. Thank you.